Hi there, Cole here for Radio Times Gaming, and today for you we've got an interview with Stalker 2 technical producer Yevhenii Kulyk where we talk mods, Unreal Engine 5, Strelok and more. The interview was conducted during our visit to GSC Game World's offices in Prague, where we also got to play 3 hours of Stalker 2, which we covered in our preview video, which is really worth a watch if you haven't already. But before we get stuck in, the audio on the first 2 questions I asked was quite garbled, so I've re-recorded what I've asked for them, but the interview will continue as normal after the fact. With that disclaimer out of the way, roll the tape.
So my name is Yevhenii, and I'm technical producer for GSC Game World.
Okay, and how long have you been with GSC?
Oh, it's my 5th year.
Watching the documentary War Game, The Making of Stalker 2 back must have been very difficult. Has it offered a sense of closure for the team in the run-up to launch?
Yep, so thank you for this question. First of all, with this documentary, we would like to remind the whole world that it's war going on in the big European country, and people are kind of dying and suffering every day, and we are basically the part of the story as well, because a lot of our colleagues joined Ukrainian military to protect their homes, their loved ones, and it is always hard to rewatch something like the videos and photo materials from the events that start fired away on 24th of November, February, but still I would like to give a big hug and cheers to our colleagues in Kiev.
Of course.
Because those guys are doing an amazing job.
Certainly.
And especially in this situation, and they might be hit by the Russian rockets in any minutes, but still they are doing their jobs and doing their best to deliver most amazing and unique experience to the players for the whole planet.
Some developers in the documentary said they felt guilty for leaving Ukraine, but has the war changed how you perceive Stalker 2, and that not only is Ukraine fighting for its survival, but also for their place to be recognised culturally on the international stage?
Yep, of course. First of all, our main objective and main goal to deliver, as I said, the best player experience, and of course we would like to remind the whole world that Ukraine is capable of doing great games and memorable games, and we added a lot of Ukrainian culture, the old one and the modern one. For example, you may notice during your gameplay today that we added a lot of mosaics on the bus stations as well, and you can find those all around the map. The different one, because this is the big part of Ukrainian art, and of course you may notice that we added some modern part as well, and I'm talking about the music.
Yeah.
So you noticed there's a lot of radios in the habitat areas that are playing modern Ukrainian music.
Oh, that's great. Well, on those original games and the older ones, they obviously have a rich modding history, and that's kind of a lot of what's helped keep Stalker alive, for instance. And I was wondering if there's any if the modding community has helped influence your approach to Stalker 2, and if there are any particular mods of the original games that you're particularly fond of.
Thank you for this question. Of course, we are watching the mod making community and the amazing work that they done through all of these years. We, especially for me, I'm playing a lot of Anomaly.
Yes.
I'm playing a lot of Gamma, of course. And other than that, we have some of our colleagues that were basically the mod makers for original games as well.
Okay.
Yep.
I did sense that when the eating mechanics with the knife, I thought that was it was very reminiscent of Stalker Anomaly. And on the modding, going forward, we've seen titles such as Skyrim or Starfield. They have modding support, curated modding support on Xbox. Is that anything we can expect for Stalker 2 in the future?
Yes, exactly.
Brilliant.
We are aware that our player base, especially the old one, are waiting our game will support the mods as well. So we bring in the mods to consoles as well.
Brilliant.
So they will be available on the Xbox as well as the PC.
Will modders be able to create mods on the scale of the aforementioned anomaly and gamma, or is with the toolkit that you're creating for it, or should we expect more sort of smaller scale projects initially?
So we're basically creating and preparing the very big toolkit that will be that will provide the mod makers with basically all necessary tools to create mods from the smallest one to big total conversions. So they can just throw their all energy to create something big. So.
Amazing. So obviously the original Stalker 2 development that was cancelled back in 2012. Have any ideas from that been brought forward in terms of the plot, or did you just start from an entirely new blank slate?
Yeah, so the main idea is to create big open world game, and it was kind of really hard for that moment to create a game this big.
Yes.
We actually used a lot of work back in the day.
Okay.
So some of the ideas are still saved for Stalker 2, from the original.
Okay. On that,
I want to make a correction here, because I heard just recently. It's just there was certain Stalker 2 game previously back then. It's was basically cancelled, and what we started with the development, we started from scratch.
Okay.
So
basically, yeah.
Engine means here it's just the inspiration.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same space.
Okay.
But the game was started from scratch before the announcement in 2018.
Okay.
So basically speaking, it's the inspiration is the same.
Sure.
But the team is new, and we started from scratch, so it can be considered as a new game, basically.
Has any plot points or story beats been carried over, or is it completely new?
If I can interrupt here just a little bit, I think the story was completely new. I talked to our story director Yaroslav, and he was in the movie as well. He mentioned rewriting the story numerous amounts of times.
Okay.
I don't think, I'm pretty sure there are zero connections to what was in 2012 version.
Okay.
So it's still action novel, it's still direct sequel and
Yes.
stuff like that, but basically it's a game started from scratch in 2000. I guess it's 7 years right now, so before the announcement in 2018.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but basically, if you're talking about the storyline, it's a iterative process.
Yes.
So you're constantly changing everything just to make things right.
With the invasion of Ukraine, were there elements that you had to remove from the story that you felt weren't appropriate anymore, or you felt, obviously you've stopped selling the game in Russia and there's no Russian translation, did you have to remove things from the game as a result to stick to that MO, if you will?
Actually not, because only thing that we removed is basically the Russian language and the ability to buy games in Russia due to the aggression. So, but if you're talking about our story and our fictional world, it's basically have almost zero connections with the real world.
In the Stalker games, one of the great things about it is such a big world that you can get lost in and immerse yourself. And I was wondering if, similar to things like Stalker Gamma or Anomaly, in Stalker 2 will there be any sort of New Game Plus mode, or similar to something like Red Dead Redemption 2, after the story you can still explore the map as another character? Is that something you're looking to implement in Stalker 2 at all?
We're currently in development of some kind of a post-launch roadmap, and I think we'll be able to share details pretty soon.
Okay, well, just on that, after we had Shadow of Chernobyl in 2007, we got a prequel and a sequel in quite short order. Is telling new stories taking place in the same map, is that something you are actively looking into then?
I will not spoil that at this moment, sorry.
No worries at all. On to some more technical questions. I was hoping you could answer what iteration of Unreal Engine 5 Stalker 2 is running on.
Yeah, so basically our engine now is based on 5.1, but we internally call it like 5.1.GSC because to make world this big, we had to adapt and let's say maybe rewrite and upgrade some tools that were provided by basically the basic Unreal Engine to fit our needs to create like this world.
And so with Unreal Engine 5, it's obviously had some problems on PC, especially with things like shader compilation and traversal stutter. Can you comment on what sort of steps you've taken to help mitigate those in the custom fork of Unreal Engine 5 you've got?
Yeah, so basically to meet our expectations for example, for optimization, for Xbox and PCs as well, we made like a lot of changes to basically render threads, some CPU optimizations, a lot of RAM optimizations. So for now, we are pretty much close to finishing like the whole polishing process. So our aim is to provide the game that is running constantly in stable FPS and with stable performance all the time.
In terms of settings on PC, I was playing, I noticed there's certain technologies of Unreal Engine 5 that aren't being used. Is that something you would maybe look to add in later on, further down the road? Like a similar title being Kingdom Come Deliverance had this experimental graphics mode for PCs in the future. Are there certain technologies like Nanite and hardware Lumen that you'd be looking to add into the game at some point post-launch?
Actually, we already running our game on the Nanites and Lumen as well.
Okay, but I couldn't fiddle with the settings, so there was maybe some level of detail pop-in. So that's why I wanted to ask about Nanite. In the original games, obviously the world was separated. You had loading areas. In this new title, I didn't get a chance to experience anything like this when I was playing it. But say if you come under attack from bandits or the military, will they follow you into like new areas? So say if you're going back to like Cordon or another area, or will there become a point where like the sort of faction borders meet and like enemies will back off, or will they just hunt you down?
Thank you for this question. So it basically depends on the faction, and it definitely depends on the monster type you met. So some of them are protecting their territory because our Alive system 2.0 is built first of all on several pillars. So first of all, they have let's say, we call it internally like offline mode. This is constantly some events are happening in the backend. So you may notice that during your gameplay, and of course you may notice like the results of maybe some firefights or maybe some mutant encounter that was attacked by NPCs or vice versa. So they have their like, let's say, natural habitat areas, and some of these fractions or some of these monsters may roam around the map and try to catch the layers, and so there is constantly life in front of the player and of course behind their eyes.
Will freedom and duty ever be friends?
Maybe, depends.
Maybe, we'll have to see. Obviously developing the game has been a long and very, very difficult road. How will you celebrate the launch of Stalker 2?
To be completely honest, we are really exhausted. It was like a really hard and long run for us, but we are keeping our energy for like this final push, and of course we're really excited about this release. We really want to see how people play the game, how they share some their basically stories, because we designed the game this way that each player should receive their like mostly unique experience, because we have non-linear story, and each action and each decision you take have some kind of long-term and short-term consequences.
What's your favorite part of Stalker 2? Is it something you've worked on, or is it something from the rest of the team? Is there something in particular that you're very proud of?
As for me, I'm really proud of, first of all, detailization of the map, because we barely used any procedural generation for this world, and everything you saw today and you saw in release is made by hand of our talented guys. And for me, my favorite part of the game is, I would say, gunplay. Like the combination of the animations, of the jamming, of the like overall feel of the firefights in our game, and of course the sound.
Yeah, sound design was very good, I must say. With Stalker 2, there's a new map, and I was looking through the PDA, and I was looking over for places I can recognize, you know, your cordon, your garbage, things like that. Did you alter the map in order to be more true to life of the actual area? Obviously, it's an open world, so you're having to fill in these gaps. So I noticed the placement is slightly different. Can you comment on the new map at all?
Yeah, so basically, when you're designing the open world game, it should be like accessible and playable, first of all. So of course, we took like a lot of expeditions. We discovered a lot of maps. We during the like our development process of the and whole level design, we took a lot of like references from the real world. But still, when you're constantly playing, you're changing something. So if some part is not plays well, you should change it.
Will we be seeing Strelok in Stalker 2?
Thank you for this question. I will not spoil that.
Understandable. Will players be able to find a conclusive answer about the Noosphere and the C-Consciousness? Or again, is that maybe something you're wanting to explore more in a further title?
You would definitely find out more on the release, and it would really depend on your choices.
Oh, okay. Very
So you need to like to cover the whole story. You need to see things from different perspectives.
Okay. One thing I will ask though, in some recent games, yellow paint has been a bit of a contentious issue. So, is there going to be an option to dial that down? As in Star Wars Outlaws, you had the option to turn off or at least limit yellow paint. Is that something players will be able to adjust? Or is that one for the modders?
We're kind of thinking how to deal with that, because we already received like a lot of questions for the yellow paint. Still, the decision to add some like this, let's say, yellow paint to highlight some like interesting objects was for like to make game a bit more accessible for the new audience. But still, we're taking a look at this issue, and we're deciding how to deal with that.
Okay. Problem, no question. Did you enjoy your time with the game?
Very much so. I'm a big Stalker fan.
Oh.
So I was. I know I didn't want to show my cards too much, but yeah.
Do it now.
Yeah, no, but before I ask the questions, so no, I played the original. My friend bought it for me in 2007, and it's just. I mean, I tried playing it back then, it terrified me. I couldn't play it all the way through, but I tried year after year after year, and I eventually got through them all. So I'm a huge Stalker fan. So when I saw the announcement of Stalker 2, I think like anything, you know, a lot of people are very anxious about, you know, it's such a beloved franchise. It'd be, you know, imagine, you know, Half-Life 3 coming out. It's kind of that sort of equivalent thing, that sort of following, you know, it's a lot of pressure. So I was very anxious, and then I heard, you know, the demo last year at Gamescom, you know, it had its issues, but I've heard very positive things in the last few months, so I was very excited to get onto it. And yeah, 5 minutes in, it was like, you know, we're back in the zone. And so
it feels like Stalker 2?
I would say very much so. I would say that, like anything, you're never going to please everyone, but I think what you've done in terms of bringing Stalker 2 forward, and whilst incorporating a more modern audience, and also catering to those old-time fans, I think you've struck a very good balance between the two. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting us over, and wish you all the best with the release.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.
But that's going to be everything from us today, folks. Thanks for watching, and make sure you're subscribed to the Radio Times Gaming YouTube channel for more upcoming Stalker 2 content. We'll see you next time.